Good morning. Figured I'd talk to you a little bit about traveling in the off season. I just put a post on my blog about it, and I thought this would be a good little video about it, just to tap on a few things. Sorry about the environment, but I'm headed to work as usual. Anyways, your thoughts on traveling in the off season, I'd be curious to know about. If you wouldn't mind just letting me know something on it where I can address different things. Let me know some of your thoughts about traveling in the off season. My personal feelings on it are, depending on where I'm going, it may not be so bad. A lot of these places that you would go to, and I'll use one example. When I went to Vietnam, I guess it was on the edge, whether I think it might have been on the beginning end or the tail end of the rainy season. And I didn't hardly hit no rain. I mean, it'd rain off and on every couple days. It'd be storming at times, but it wouldn't last long. And I put a little old clip here while I was in Hoi An walking around. I carried a little old bitty umbrella, just enough to keep the water off my head, and it didn't shut nothing down. And the reason I'm telling you this is because a lot of these places that are tourist destinations that are completely overcrowded during tourist season generally are still good to go in the off season. A lot less crowds, more bargains, whether it be hotels, flights, tours. All that stuff is a lot more reasonable in the off season because they're trying to make a year-long sustainability as far as tourism there. And the reason I brought up the part about raining is most of these places, especially like in Vietnam, since I'm using that as an example, they're set up for the rainy weather. All their little outdoor street shops and all that got awnings hanging across the top of them. They're prepared for any downpours and all that, so they don't have to drag all their stuff back inside. You walk around with an umbrella. If it's really coming down bad, stand under one of them awnings, do a little shopping, help the locals out. Or if you're just trying to get out of the rain, that's fine too. It's going to pass. This one particular clip that I showed you here, it went on for a little while. And a little while, I'm talking about maybe 15, 20 minutes. But that don't slow nothing down. They were still out there riding in their little scooters, had these little ponchos on and just getting up. Of course, that's their main mode of transportation out there. But the whole point of it is a lot of places you go to are still capable of carrying on business as usual, albeit less of a crowd, in the off season. Now, say if you was to go to Phoenix, Arizona in the off season and come a blizzard with 4 or 5 inches of snow, yeah, they're probably not set up for that. The extremes is what would mess you up, but that could even happen in tourist season. You can get a typhoon somewhere or a hurricane, or depending on what side of the world you're on, tornadoes. So just consider traveling in the off season. You get to see a whole different side of where you're going that a lot of people don't get to see if they just go during the tourist season. Sometimes it's even better. You might go someplace in the fall that's really a hot spot in the summer and catch stuff like the trees changing colors, or the fields turning to where they're way better pictures. Pictures that are not as common as people going in there at the height of tourist season. Streets in Europe or something may be a little less crowded. So when you take them pictures, it don't look like you're just got off a cattle train and everybody's headed out. It looks more normal. There's a lot of benefits to traveling in the off season. For one, it's if you're still working, sometimes it's probably easier to get your vacation time at that time. A lot of companies get a big push on people trying to get off during the holidays and certain times of the year that's, be retired. You don't have them kind of restrictions. You can pretty much do your research and pick some places, pay attention to the weather, pay attention to the, any kind of latest news in them places. You wouldn't want to go to some place where, there's some terrorist activity going on or something like that. But in general, in my opinion, and on my Facebook, I've heard people mention also that, it's a lot less crowded. It's a lot more fun. You get to see things you normally wouldn't get to see. If you go on these tours, your tour guides are a lot more one-on-one-ish with you because they're not sitting there trying to, field a bunch of questions from, 80 or 90 people on the bus. They're talking to a smaller group. It's easier to get one-on-one time with them. You can ask them questions that you might be intimidated to ask them if there was a bunch of people there. And a lot of times, they may be willing to show you more simply because it's a smaller group or just you and whoever, if you travel with somebody, they may be willing to break their normal routine just to take you to places you hadn't seen or something that they've always thought people would like to see but didn't want to take a chance with, 50 or 60 people in a group, and you're all following a flag somewhere. So it's definitely worth considering for sure. Anyways, that's my humble opinion. I do got a pretty good post on it on justoldhutch.com. That's justoldhutch.com. You don't have to like this video if you don't want to. It helped me and it tickled me too, I guess. But even if you don't, go to my website there and sign up for my newsletter. I don't spam none of that junk. But I'll send out, every now and again, I'll send out a newsletter with some of my latest posts on basically travel-related stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, please sign up for it. You can always unsubscribe if it ain't to your liking. But it does pretty good, and I think you'd enjoy it. So anyways, with that said, I'll talk to you the next time. Bye.